Hello, WCW. My name is Big Chuck, and I'm here to cover your Season 6 precap. Just tell you a little bit about myself. I've been with this league since Season 1, I think, of the 2.0 version. Started as a Kislev team and switched over to Lizards. Had a much more successful run with the Lizards. I would manage to win Season 3, and have been rolling with the WCW ever since. Haven't played much Blood Bowl beyond when I started in the first season of this. I've started playing in some other leagues, started playing some tabletop as well, but I'm relatively new to the Blood Bowl scene. And today I have here with me the commissioner himself, TheTrueBlu.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, a little bit by myself. I joined a season after Big Chuck, Season 2. And it was my first ever multiplayer league. It was probably my third ever multiplayer game. Was doing one of the knockout tournaments.
Who did
I
you
think
play
that was
in
the
that?
knockout tournament.
Do you remember?
All right, so I made it to the finals somehow. I have no idea. I want to say I played Hammer Time first, Duberman second, and then I got pitch cleared by Boba, the third one.
Sounds about right.
I do remember that. But yeah,
right.
So somehow had a little bit of success, and then I worked my way up to commissioner.
Yep, absolutely. World Cup qualifying commissioner. Got
Oh yeah, I qualified for the World Cup through Rebel. So that was a big accomplishment. That was actually the first tournament I ever won. So there's that.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to go over all the teams that we have in our divisions and talk about a little bit about the upcoming season. So I guess we'll just get started here, and I'll just go down the list. First up, we have, is it Whack Rob? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, Whack Rob. I believe his name is Captain Blood in Discord.
Captain Blood. All right. We'll have to find out what he prefers to go by. We have a Bretonian team, which I think is the first Bretonian team I've seen in the WCW. There may have been others, but this is the first one I remember seeing.
Yeah, Bretonian teams, they're really, really good to start. Blitzers are amazing. Blockers are good. If their linemen can survive and they don't go into a death spiral, I think all around Bretonians are really, really good to start.
Yep. Start with a ton of wrestle, ton of block, so you don't have to worry about rolling a bunch of 1 and 9s out the gate like a lot of teams do. Allows you to get away with just the low number of rerolls, just starting with 2 rerolls, which rerolls for the Bretts are a little expensive. I didn't realize that, but
yeah. It is way expensive compared to what I thought it would be.
So I had the pleasure of playing with Caloric in the Rebel, who played a fantastic Bretonian team and somehow managed to get Agi up across 3 out of 4 of his blitzers, and just had a fantastic team. This team can really develop into a versatile game because they can do a really cool running game and then surprise you with sometimes like an elf-like passing game. The blitzer starting with catch. If you can get a thrower, they're pretty good receivers. And then when they turn around on offense, starting with Dauntless and block, they're pretty good blitzers too. So and they have natural agility access. I think strength is a doubles for them.
Strength is the only doubles. They have natural, general, agility, and passing access.
Yeah.
They're insane.
So they can really get built in some interesting ways. I've seen lots of tackle, lots of sidestep, and you can do kind of the tackle, diving tackle, jump up type things. If you get some lucky doubles on them, getting some guard or some mighty blow in there on them, they can really just become like these 4 pieces do everything for the team, and the rest of these pieces don't matter all that much.
Oh, the blockers matter a lot because
that's
the only natural strength access on the team. So
sure,
you get guard on them, and then a lot of people I've seen build a wrestle piece into killers. So they'll take mighty blow piling on, just so that way they have one killer piece. But eventually they'll also take block, so that way they can not wrestle things down.
What's your stance on the peasants or the linemen? Because my understanding is this is dirty player fired is the role of the lineman.
Oh, it's 100% dirty player fired. I think the only way that you probably don't do it, and you can't really do it anyways because you have so many valuable pieces on the backside. I was going to say is if you want a kick piece, but there's already 8 pieces, so there has to be 3 linemen on the LOS.
Yep. Well, this is a team. If you have some spare players, you can get the kicking dirty player maybe. That way, once you've used your kick, you just go and foul away with them. This team is a team that can benefit from a kicker. 7 movement, a couple of movement ups here, and you have a piece that can run out into the backfield and really do some disgusting things. So, I don't know. Brett's overall pretty cool team. Interested to see how they develop. I'm
excited because I've never seen Brett's in Windy City, and spoiler alert, there's 2 of them this season.
Wow, I just saw that. This is shaping up to be a pretty neat division here. So, moving on down the line to the Killer Confessions, which is Kadachi69.
This is your clanmate, Puke.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, we are working on building up the Roll Clan to take on the Rebel Clan League, so that's a work in progress we have going on there. So, playing the Killer Confessions, this is a great theme. I like it. So we've got the Mummy. I slept with my ex. Oh wow. This is that's a theme for you right there. Interesting. I think we have a fairly standard-ish undead start. A little heavy on the ghouls. Don't undead usually start with 2 ghouls instead of 3?
2 seconds, Big Chuck.
Sure,
sorry.
Sure, no worries. I'll fill. Yeah, so I think fairly standard for. We've got 3 rerolls, got a couple of block pieces, got the good strength mummies. Yeah, some ghouls, some zombies.
Sorry about that.
Sure.
Back.
So I don't know too much about the standard starting builds of undead. Do they always start with 3 ghouls? It seems like you could get away with.
Oh yeah, they do.
Always 3.
I think the only time, yeah, they do because you can't even get a 12th player if you try to remove a ghoul and get a zombie.
Sure.
So there's no point in taking an extra zombie. So they already have a bit of speed. They already have some block. They already have mighty blow. This is why Undead are regarded as probably the best starting bash team in the game.
I just worry that the 3 ghouls is actually a liability. Even though you can't get that extra player, this is the only team in the game that doesn't get that's the only player on the team that doesn't get regen. It's armor 7. I'm worried about losing players permanently early on in the career of a team. So I don't know. I think I could see an argument for just going 5 zombies and stashing some cash away for later.
I could see that argument, but at the same time, you're going to stash that cash to get a ghoul.
Right.
If you play it right, the ghoul won't die. So.
Well, hopefully so. So hopefully we'll see some good development there. Any other thoughts about the undead team? I think it's a pretty standard starting race. Yeah. Good bash potential.
Yeah. Good bash potential. The only thing about it is that once you, assuming that this team makes it up to Capone Division, there should be some claw waiting for it, and that's when it starts to fall off.
The only thing there is that, the claw can be waiting for them. If your region rolls are good, though, you can weather it a lot better than some of the other teams.
Very true.
So, yeah. Good team. So far we've got Brett's and Undead. Third team on the list, Woody War Dancer and Company by A Velociraptor. And we have Wood Elves with 2 War Dancers and a Catcher, which I think is pretty much the standard build order. 2 rerolls. Wood Elves are great. As long as you can avoid the dreaded Wood Elf death spiral, you're in good shape.
Yeah, Velociraptor. know he's a pretty solid coach. He's a mentor down in Rebel,
Yep.
which is how I saw him a bit. But Wood Elves altogether, as long as you have some solid dice, you should be able to really do what you want with the ball 99% of the time.
Yep.
Because movement 7 is unfair on agility 4 pieces. Yep. I don't care if they're all armor 7.
Yep. The everything is very easy to develop. You just hand a ball to a guy and take off, and you just outrun every team in the game. And Wood Elves are good. They're a great team.
Yeah, 100%. It's just spoiler alerts. There's going to be a lot of Wood Elves this season.
Interesting. So next up, we have The Bulbous Boys by DeBulba. And we have someone who is brave enough to take a Goblin team. 990 starting team value and 14 players, so I imagine we're going to see some fouls, starting with the Bombardier, the Fanatic, the Pogoer, and the Looney. So the full squadron of positionals, right?
Yeah, that's the full squadron.
Yep.
That's actually kind of surprising. I have been always under the impression that you want to start off really low TV. Well, not low, but probably around 900, so that way you at least get 2 bribes.
Yep.
For fresh goblins. So this is kind of an off-meta first choice.
That is typically what I see, is that they will forego starting some of these positionals. Like you probably have to keep your Pogoer. You probably want your Saw. So I think the first one that I would think about letting go is letting go the Fanatic, maybe. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but...
the Fanatic is usually what people use. I love the Fanatic because Strength 7 is so annoying. You're at least going to have people dedicate some blitzes to try to knock it down.
Right.
So that's a bonus. The thing I would say is probably maybe drop a Pogoer and just have 1 less movement as your ball carrier. That way you still have 13 players. You can withstand losing some secret weapons. And then all you have to do is spend 20k and you get 2 bribes as long as you face a TV 1000 team.
Right. So brave, bold choices on the goblins here. We'll see how they fare. I'm very curious when we get to the matchups to see what their first week matchup is. Hopefully it's not one of these deadly Bretonian teams. So up next, Ultra 124 with the Goldblood Knights. Yeah, looks like we have the exact same start. Yeah.
Same exact start. I think this is the standard start for sure.
Yeah.
Because you need all the wrestle, you need all the block.
Yeah.
Anything else you don't need.
Yep. It's just max positionals and 11 players, right? And then 2 rerolls.
Yep.
So very excited to have 2 Bretonian teams. I'm absolutely sure we'll see at least one of them have a berth into the Capone division next time around. So that'll be very cool to see.
Definitely.
And, go ahead.
It's going to be fun. It's just going to be fun. I'm excited.
Coming up next, we have Plilnith with the Camptown Cocktrotters. That is that's a name.
That name gets me every time.
So we have a Norse team who are starting Yeti, which is not standard at all, right? You're the Norse expert. I'll let you tell us about that.
The Yeti start is very normal. I am the abnormal one that refuses to take Yetis.
Really? Okay. All right. So you got a Yeti start. Other than that, looks like 1 runner and max frenzy.
Yeah. Norse are a super fun team. Mass block does well. Yeah, it's if they match up with Bretts, I don't know how good the matchup is, because they're going to be out armored and they can't just depend on block to bail them out. So that should be interesting.
I would love to be the Brett team in the Brett versus Norse matchup, I think, because you have the wrestle going for you.
Yep.
And I think the Brett team is the team more willing to foul in the matchup. And the one other thing that I see happen more than a lot of people do is, I think whenever you have these 2 players who are your ults that from what I see, most players want to blitz with them because they're their strength 4 pieces, their frenzy pieces, and they want to get skills on them, so they want to blitz with these, and they're prone to 1 and 9s until they get that block level.
Yeah, they're really 1 and 3s with Ulfs. I don't know if you know that or not. It's written in the rules.
Oh, I did not. They have a little asterisk next to them, huh?
Yeah, 1 and 3 block both block attacker down.
Got it.
Both down attacker down. So
yeah, so I think there is a that's a liability they have to deal with, especially if they're going up against Bretts early on, which we will see here shortly. But yeah, Norse, a great team. Lots of block on these early teams, which may be trouble for the Wood Elves.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, and I was also thinking I may have to shift up the divisions a little bit if there's people willing to do that, because the other division is very agility based.
Got it. Yeah, might be helpful to send one of these Bretts or the Norse over to the other division. I don't know if that's what you're thinking of, or
I was just thinking of the people that haven't quite accepted their tickets yet.
Oh, got it. Well, we have 2 other teams who are placeholders for these AI teams here, but we can view those. We have a necromantic team, the Castlevania Rejects, coached by Tetsuya, who is a name I know from the Rebel Miners. Made the playoffs. He seems to be a very, very good coach.
Yeah, so he won my college season, and then we met in minors playoffs, and I had my way with him because of blitzes and kick.
Tetsuya was playing Undead in Rebel, right?
Yeah, he is playing Undead, so he's branching out a little bit, but sticking with the regen.
Not too much different. You trade in your well, I was gonna say you trade in your mummies for fleshies, but there's no fleshies in this start.
Yeah, it's a weird start. Most people go for 2 werewolves, 2 whites, 2 flesh golems, and 2 rerolls.
Yeah, looks like he's gone for more of a agility, speed-based game plan here. He's got his wolves, he's got his ghouls, but no roadblocks to hold up the line. So interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm intrigued to see how this works, because most people get the flesh golems mainly because you want to level the flesh golems, and every game that you get a potential MVP, it matters.
Yep. Flesh golems are historically not easy to level. Yep.
So I'm really intrigued by that altogether.
All in all, though, this is enough positionals to make a solid playable team. So you've got the speed of the ghouls, the speed of the werewolves to work with. You've got a couple of blitzers in your whites, well, blitzers in your werewolves too. But you've got some reliable block there that you can lean on in early days. They will get a little bit outgunned by a couple of the teams in this division. The Undead team will outgun them. The Norse team will outgun them. The Bretts, they will be on even footing with. I think this team would fare pretty well against the Bretts with this type of build.
The Bretts will still be a tough game just because there's so much block, so much wrestle. And like you said earlier, they won't be afraid to foul. So let's say you wrestle werewolf, it's getting fouled.
Sure. I'm thinking strength-wise, they're not just completely outgunned, struggling for blocks. But, yeah, interesting start. I'll be interested to follow that and see how that develops. And then our other new player this is new team, older player, Crychair playing Orc Me Harder. That's a good name.
Yep.
We've got, I think this looks like the completely standard orc start. No troll, 4 blitzers, 4 black orcs, a thrower, and some linemen, 3 rerolls. Yeah, it's orcs.
Yeah, this is orcs. This is how you start orcs. I see some debate on whether you start with a thrower or you start with a 3rd lineman.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like the thrower because then you let blitzers do blitzer things.
Yeah, starting with sure hands is worth starting, I think. Like, you don't really want the thrower for the pass access, but sure hands is valuable. Yeah, I like this team. The only thing that is a little bit troublesome is you don't have the 3 linemen to put on the line, right? So you end up with a positional
Probably
on the
black
line.
orc.
Probably
Yeah.
black orcs, but positionals on the line.
Yep.
Yeah, but still, I like it. I like the thrower. It doesn't take you long to get to the 50K that you need to buy another lineman, but you're probably shooting for the apothecary first to protect the SPP.
Oh yeah, and the great thing about them is that they are 89. So besides the thrower,
Yep.
they just last long anyways.
Yep, and the thrower
So-
will not be taking a ton of hits anyways because he's carrying your ball, right? So he's not going to be
Exactly.
not going to be on the line all that much. So
Exactly. And then I just want to give a couple of shout outs to Moxie and DeBulba. Nice to see you guys in chat.
if you haven't watched my stream before, I am the world's worst about reading chat, so thank you, TrueBlu.
No problem.
So our first week, we have the Ivory Flames versus the Bavarian Knights, which if we look at that, that is... The Ivory Flames, we said, were the Orc team, I believe. Is that correct?
I believe, yeah, Ivory Flames, we said that would be the Orcs.
So
that's
we
their
have-
place order.
We have Bretts versus Orcs. So that'll be an interesting team. Not very much block on the Orc team. All the block and wrestle on the Protonian team. What do you think?
I think I favor the Orcs just because Orcs are so strong to start, but the Bretts, the thing about them is that they also have Dauntless, and that could really be the X factor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change it. I like Bretts in that matchup.
Yep. The Bretts start with a little bit more protection in the form of wrestle. Yeah, that'll be an interesting match to watch. They are outstrengthed a little bit, but they do have the Dauntless roll, so not as the strength issue, not as much of an issue as you would think. If they just line the Black Orcs up on the line, they'll just line the Blitzers up against them and throw Dauntless blocks. So, yeah, interesting. That'll be a matchup to watch. I think I favor the Bretts a little bit in the early games. Later in the season, I think I would favor the Orcs because they will pick up much more Mighty Blow and guard, and once they're out guarding them, it's a much harder matchup. So then we have the Nihilistic Stars versus the Killer Confessions. Nihilistic Stars.
So another one of our place.
Yeah, that's our other placeholder. So that's Necro.
So it's going to be Necro versus the Undead. And I have to favor the Undead 9 times out of 10. The 10th time, it's just going to be when qualifiers and takes out a mummy early.
Yep. Those blocks are going to be real hard to throw against those mummies, though. I mean, Strength 3 versus Strength 5, you've got to get 3 assists in there. Which basically means that mummy has to be isolated from everything else, or else you're not getting 3 assists easily. So
yeah.
So that's going to be a tough matchup. I think, early in the season, you have to favor the Undead. Later on, whenever you have a Clawpalm Wolf and some guard and those fleshies are in the mix and you have some other things going on, that Claw can be a real difference maker in that matchup. But early on, I think I like the standard Undead build a little bit more.
There's a reason why Undead are probably the best at TV 1000.
Yep.
So basically what you have to hope that you do is that you outposition them.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's how you win this game. And when you went with the fast start, it isn't out of the question. I actually kind of like the Necro setup going with the fast start.
Yep. The fleshies don't buy you a ton against the mummies because you're just stranding Strength 4 versus Strength 5. So, yeah, they definitely have a shot. It'll be a tough game. Just the Undead are so super good out the gate. So, yeah. So next up, we have our Norse team. Can't say that name again or I'm going to laugh.
The Cocktrotters?
Yep, that's
What
them.
about the Cocktrotters?
They will be playing our Woody War Dancer and Company. So we have Wood Elves versus Norse first game. Not the game the Wood Elves want, game 1, I don't think.
Yeah, this is a game where the Wood Elves can just be like, oh, so this is what that spiral feels like in the first day.
Well, fortunately, no Mighty Blow to start off. So if the Elves can just successfully run away, they can do their thing. But yeah, that's a Norse, all the block everywhere. That's a scary team to face game one.
Yeah.
I think I would slightly favor the Norse sight unseen. I haven't played against either of these coaches, so I don't know the coaches well enough to make any kind of meta call of, oh, this guy's a pro Wood Elf coach. He's gonna. I just don't know. So I'm just going purely based on the matchup. The Norse.
Purely based on the matchup, I would take Norse. I think Plinth is a newer coach, so maybe a Velociraptor will be able to work that a little bit and positionally just be a little bit better.
Hey, sometimes
I expect still some things to die.
Sometimes elves do elf things. After my first game of Wood Elves in another league, I started TV 1000, and after that game, I was TV 600. So that was a thing. Hopefully that doesn't happen here. So our last game, we have the Goldblood Knights versus the Bulbous Boys. So that is our Goblin team versus the Goldblood Knights, which is our other Bretonnia team. So Bretts versus Goblins. What do you think about that?
So Grazy is in the chat. He is the one that is coaching the Bretts. So he's saying that he has a worse record versus Goblins than I probably should, so you should have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in that case, Goblins all the way. Thank you for giving me that prediction, Grazy.
Goblins all the way. Bretonians are an Armor 8 team with Armor 7 linemen, right?
Chainsaws, easy enough.
Yeah, chainsaw will do work. Random bomb explosion may hurt something. Yeah, Goblins to me are. This has been my experience with Goblins. When they do what they can do, they're impossible. I don't care what your team is. You're just sometimes you're fated to lose to the Goblins. When they don't do what they're supposed to do, like the chainsaw removes himself, the bombardier removes itself. A few casual armor breaks here and there, and they don't have a team left. So
yeah.
So it goes.
Are you saying if you succeed at dice that you'll be successful in Blood Bowl? That is the craziest statement I've ever heard.
It
Hot
is.
takes everywhere, guys. Hot takes.
No, but I'm saying dice. If both teams are crazy successful with dice, Goblins will win. You could take the best Nurgle or Chaos or whatever filthy, disgusting team that you want to throw out there that is just a nightmare on wheels. And Goblins, if they're hot, throwing bombs and hitting chainsaws, no, so what? We're just gonna throw a bomb and take out 5 players in one throw. No big deal.
Bombardiers are OP. I can attest to that. It almost beat me in the Stunty Cup that we had a couple months back.
The Bombardiers make things fun, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for the Nelson division. Moving on to our second division, the Dillinger division. First up, yes. I see Squints in here.
Yep, and then he accepted his ticket. He accepted his ticket while we're midstream.
Nice. Does that mean we have a full... We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a full 8. So we get to look at all our teams. Sweet. Where's the rest of this team is my first question.
He only decided to bring half of them because he has an Agi 5 thing. He didn't want it to be too easy.
Got it. So we have an Agi 5 War Dancer. We have a Tackle Dancer. We have a Wrestle Dauntless Catcher. Wrestle Dauntless. Wow, I never thought of building a catcher as a sacker. That's pretty cool. And then we have a Movement Busted Lineman with no skills.
At this point, you have to keep it.
Do you?
Let's put it this way. This is the reason Squints is in a lower division instead of Capone.
Uh-huh.
His team is decimated.
Yep. So, what is the actual team value we're looking at here? It's an 840, but he's got
1240.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah.
1240.
I
did the math on
6 times
this
70.
while I was
yeah.
making divisions.
Okay, 1240. So we have a 1240 Wood Elf team. Yeah, not a lot of development, but we've got basically 5 skills. One of them a stat up. So all I can say about this team is this War Dancer's great. Just want to see him score more and become, see him make the hit list. Something we haven't mentioned yet. We do have a hit list for the most wanted players that everyone wants to see fouled to death. This guy's just a few level ups from that, right? Yeah, other than that, there's not much of a team here to talk about.
From the players that are there, let's just talk about the 4 that don't have perms.
Yep.
They're all on their way to being good Wood Elves.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. The crazy thing is this actually probably is good Wood Elves, right? Like, these are the players that do stuff.
Yeah. And this is probably why people like starting with the tree. So that way this doesn't happen.
Right. I would like to see another catcher. I don't know what his strategy is, if he's just going to buy back linemen every time he gets 70K or, trying to crawl out of it. But I think the catchers are key to development or key to Wood Elves. I want to see like a one-turner get developed as a catcher. So this sacking catcher is really cool, but I want to see another catcher that's like a one-turner or something like that, because I think that's a huge threat this team needs.
Yeah, this team do you have an elf? Just throw it at the team and it makes the team better.
Right.
Because there's no longer a loner there.
Yep.
I think, obviously, you prioritize positionals.
Yep.
You probably want to prioritize getting another catcher, and you could probably use that as a ball carrier.
Yep. Yep.
Movement 8 ball carrier, Agi 4.
That's all you need.
Dirty things can happen.
So I'll be excitedly watching this team put itself back together. So it should have a fair season against a new division the rest of the way around.
Yes, and there is a lot of agility. There's not as much agility as I thought. The divisions are going to stay the same.
Yeah, there's 3 agility teams over in this division, which is a bit, but it's not too imbalanced.
Yeah, I thought it was more imbalanced than this, but it's all good.
So we have RK Blaze with the Hellspawn Violators, a Chaos Dwarf team that looks like it's taken pretty much the straight-up standard Chaos Dwarf build.
I hate the way that he's
it's only
organized
5
his players.
It's only 5 Chorfs.
What?
Chorf number 6 is not there.
Alright, so he didn't take a third reroll. That was the Chorf. He took a third reroll. That was the Chorf.
Yep. I think you won all your Chorfs. I'm surprised by that. Like, the Chorfs are the team.
The Chorf development is the key to the team.
Yep.
Bull development is nice. If you have good bulls, then you can do some nice things, but Chorfs, they're just the things that are going to be put on the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
They're the things that you expect to remove things.
I
don't know if I agree with the start.
I would start 1 bull, I think, before I started 5 Chorfs.
I think 1 bull might be a better start than what they currently have, because 1 bull would probably mean a third reroll and 6 Chorfs. I actually kind of like that as an experiment.
Yeah, that would be something worth trying. I don't think this team needs the third reroll. When you have 6 people with block, you can get away with 2 rerolls, right? Just my personal opinion, because you're just not rolling as many 1 and 9s. The both downs are fine. Yep. And you can typically make 3 die blocks with your bull centaurs if you really want to. So
yes. So it's going to be interesting to see. Sorry, my dog is annoying me right now. It's going to be interesting to see how they develop. I'm excited to see how this experiment works out. I don't think it will, but I'm excited to see if it does.
Next up, we've got Lord Commander playing the Women of War.
Yeah, the Women of War and Amazon side.
4 rerolls and a lot of block, and I don't know if 4 rerolls is standard. I think isn't 12 Zon standard with 3 rerolls?
I would assume so.
Yep.
That was probably going to be the thing that I would probably say about them, is that you already have mass dodge everywhere. Yep. Why do you need a 4th reroll?
Yeah, I don't think a 4th reroll is all that necessary. And a 12th line woman can go a long way. 50K. Piece. This is a fouling team. So having that extra bench to be able to foul is just a great thing. But other than that, you've got the blitzers. They're going to hit stuff. They're going to be hard to knock down because, yeah, only I think there's a Chorf team. Is there any other dwarf in this division?
There's not.
There's not. So the Chorfs are the only ones he really has to worry about knocking him down. Everyone else going to have a bit of a hard time with all the dodge and blodge.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
just going to be... Yeah, the thing I hate about Amazons is how good they are early. You have 4 block pieces with strength access.
Amazons are a team that I think I'm only ever brave enough to play in a region tournament, though.
That's true. But if you can make them survive, they can be really annoying as long as there isn't a lot of tackle in the higher divisions.
This is a team that is fantastic at TV 1000, amazing at TV like 1500, and then all of a sudden at like 16.
Even then, amazing at like 1300 when you have lots of guard, I'd assume.
Yeah, they're amazing all the way through to like 1500, and then once you get above 1500, you start running into teams that are developed to the point of having 3 tackle pieces just because they ran out of other things to take. And then once there's that much tackle on the field, it starts getting scary. But the nice thing is, by that point, you usually have like a palming blitzer, and maybe you can eliminate some of that tackle. So,
yeah, Zons are very, very good. Moral of the story.
Yep.
And shout out to Puke. Nice to see you in chat.
Yep. Next up, we have Moxie's Weekend Times crew. We've got an orc team, and we have a troll start. So, fun stuff
here. I love the start already.
2 rerolls, that's fine.
You can get a troll.
Yep. 2 rerolls, got the troll, got the blitzers, got the black orcs. This is the strength start. This is the I'm going to dominate the line early on start, right? That's what this is saying. Yeah,
this is... I love it because trolls... I think they're solid pieces. They just have the worst nega trait in the game, where he always needs a buddy.
Yep.
But having regen is kind of nice as well. He's a roadblock with regen when you don't have an apo.
The troll can be fantastic. It is very, very dependent on using him very well, because you have to order your turn in the right way to make sure that he has that buddy. And if you make a mistake, it punishes you more than normal because you have to move a buddy over to him, and then that piece is out of position. So this kind of start will excel in the hands of an advanced coach because you'll always have your pieces in the right place. But yeah, it's a good, strong start. It makes a statement. I like it.
I love it too. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that start is works with the fun start. It's good to see.
So next up, we've got Valkyrie with the Firstborn of Arda, which is a High Elf team.
Yes. So this is Brett's and High Elves are Valk's favorite teams.
Okay.
And he went High Elves. He'll find him a lot of the times in our other Windy City Warmonger coach, Striker OD's chat, where he is a mod there, and he rules it with an iron fist.
Well, hadn't banned me yet, so no. Yeah, this is a good looking team. I love the Armor 8 on High Elves. I haven't played them at all, but I guess this is somewhat of a slower elf team, it looks like, other than their catchers and blitzers. They seem movement 6 across the board.
I absolutely love High Elves. Valk told me about them a couple months back for a team to try. Armor value 8, and then all of a sudden you can fight a little bit as elves, and then you have the agility 4 to do things.
Right.
I absolutely love the start. So I'm excited to see what Valk does. I think I have high expectations for Valk and High Elves, to be honest.
My understanding is High Elves are pretty much the de facto straight-up passing team.
No, that's Pro Elves.
Pro Elves. Okay, get him mixed up. Okay, well then I'll be excited to see how this plays out. I don't think I've seen a lot of High Elf play. So
it's good fun. It is really good fun. High Elves are the elves that you really need to get to high TV before they get better, just because you really depend on catcher development, and
Yep.
those are 87. But at 8347 piece,
That's
really,
totally
really
fine
good.
as an elf piece. So
Yeah.
next up, we have the chump of the division, I think. WCW Grin and Barrett. Some moron decided to roll Kislev. I don't know what they were thinking.
You went with an interesting start as well.
I did go with a spicy start. This is not a standard. This is my team, if anyone was wondering why I'm calling someone a moron. So I went with the little bit of everything start. So starting with Grin the Bear. And we've got a single blitzer, which a lot of people are all in on. The blitzers are the most important core of the team, which they are. But I tend to have a mindset of like, I want to develop one blitzer at a time. So if I have 3 or 4 blitzers on the field, I tend to spread the SPP among them. If I have one blitzer, he's getting all of it until he gets his levels. So I kind of have a development plan with this team where Amadeus is going to get all the SPP. And as soon as I have enough money, first we're going to pick up the Apo, and then we'll pick up a second blitzer, and then that blitzer will get all the SPP. And once he gets to a couple levels in, we'll pick up a third blitzer, and that's kind of the plan of development there.
Oh, for sure. So I have to ask, are you a little worried about the 3 reroll start? Because I know a lot of coaches like to go the 4 rerolls on Kislev.
Normally, I think if you're trying to do Kislev stuff, I would be, but my plan is to just try and play a very strong positional game and not rely on doing too much, right? Like, I'm not going to be making a bunch of crazy leaps. I'm not going to be making any... I am worried about the 1 in 9s because you have to make blocks. But I'm going to try and play a strong positional game, try and limit the blocks of my opponent, and not make excessive blocks myself. Something I'm guilty of in the past is just, setting myself up to take all the blocks I can. So I'm going to try and break myself of that habit and just try and play a positional game.
Yeah. I can tell you this, Kislev is fun, but there is some Kislev BS that's too tempting to pass up sometimes.
There is, and I think when you have no other options, you go for the BS option. And once you have some development and you have the 4 rerolls, then all of a sudden the BS is much more acceptable, right? If you have an Agi 4 blitzer or some other pieces that have developed into some sort of nonsense, then that's the plan. Later on, when this team gets to 1500, 1600 TV, they will be the BS machine.
Yeah, Kislev, they're super fun. I can't wait until you get some more experience with them. I thought about bringing Kislev in this season, but I went with my Nurgle, so.
Nurgle, also a fun team. And your Nurgle's going to be great.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. And then, real quick, shout out to Valkyrie. Nice to see you in chat.
Man, we're building up some viewers here. 7's high for my channel.
It says 9 on my screen, so...
Okay, mine may have not updated yet. Next up, we have the Meats. Corrigan, I love that name. We have the Meats. Oh, this is great. So we've got chicken nugget, chicken leg, the skinks, beefsteak, ground chuck. I'm claiming ground chuck. That's me. Yeah, love this team. Not the ordering is funny, right? We've got the Crocs in the middle, surrounded by Saurus with skinks on either end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all in all, this is like the Lizard start, I think. One fan factor is an interesting optional buy. Will potentially give him a slight edge on fame rolls early on, which can get you some extra money.
Potentially give her a slight edge.
Oh, her a slight. Excuse me, my mistake.
Yeah, this is RK Blaze's wife.
Oh, sweet, nice.
Yeah. So there's going to be some spouse rivalries in this division.
Uh-oh, we're in trouble now. How do you play whenever you have to play your wife? That's a tough matchup.
I don't know. He messaged me saying he did not like having to play his wife, but I'm just like, we needed some bash in this division, so there you go.
Man, that's brutal. I would have been tempted to separate them just so I wouldn't want to have to play my wife.
I love it. I think it's going to be fun to see. I wanted to create the chaos.
So I'm a huge fan of Lizards, as anyone who's been around WCW for any amount of time would know. Coached a Lizard team to victory in Season 3, so I look forward to seeing this team develop and do the same thing.
Yeah. There's a good amount of Lizards. There's always Lizards, I feel like.
Lizards are a great team. They're a really good team.
Well, they're a really good team, but I absolutely hate seeing Lizards because I hate playing against them. Moving on.
Moving on. We've got Duberman with the Wood Elf team, the Central Wardens.
Yep.
And this Wood Elf team is not beat up, but no development.
Yeah, so prior to the other start Wood Elves that we saw in the Nelson division, we're seeing a thrower start instead of a catcher start. What do you think of that?
I like the catchers a lot, so I can see why you can do the thrower start. It's just a piece that gives you the ability to, make those passes to the war dancers who are going to do all your scoring. So looking to play a throwing game a little bit more, but it's a slightly slower team. But I mean, movement 7's still awesome, so I think it's totally fine.
Yeah, just to me, this says that I'm going to try to save up. Obviously, I want to get to APO, but I'm going to try to save up. I'm going to play a passing game. I'm going to play a high-scoring game.
Yep.
With my war dance. That's what it says to me.
Yep, I agree. So,
all right,
that's the division. Let's look at the matchups real quick. We have the Meats versus Who Wants a Woody. So that is Squints versus the Lizards, Corrigan. So. Yep. What do you think about that matchup? That's going to be. I'm going to say I have to favor the Lizards there, even though he's got the Agi 5 BS Wood Elf. The Lizards are going to punch Wood Elves. That's what they're made to do.
Well, the Lizards are going to punch Wood Elves, but at the same time, Lizards are 1-in-9 machines, as we all know. And there's just some sackers, like the catcher sacker on Squint's team. Wrestle piece against Skink, where he has already a 1 die. All he has to do is a 2+ leap to make it a 2 die.
I mean, you really just want the tackle piece hitting the Skinks, though, right?
Well, I'm just saying, once the Lizards get the ball, I think it's going to get knocked free real quick.
It very well could. It very well could.
I'm actually going with Squints in this matchup.
I think it all depends on how well the armor holds, and also who kicks and who receives first. Like, I think I almost think the Lizards want to defend first and just punch as many Wood Elves as possible, and the Wood Elves probably just want to score as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's how I usually like to play against Elves, is I like to go defense first.
Yep.
Make them do their BS, and then all of a sudden I can try 1-turn attempt, because usually I play a fast enough team that I can attempt it, or force them to score early, and then I have an entire second half to just grind them out a little bit more.
Well, I've got an obvious Lizard bias, so I think we're gonna have opposite picks there. Next up, we've got the Central Wardens versus Grin and Barrett, Kislev versus Wood Elves. I'm gonna pick against myself. Duberman's gonna run Rampage on me.
I think you're going on a twofer right now. Duberman, I think, is a very good coach, and then Wood Elves are a much better team than Kislev.
Yep.
The one saving grace for your team that might be able, well, 2 saving graces, is that you have a bear that has a prehensile tail, and then you have some diving tackle. You might be able to force a little bit of BS if he forgets about it.
I think that the one thing that I do kind of have going for me is the bear with the Mighty Blow. So I have a Mighty Blow start. If the bear goes on a rampage, which he could, it's possible. If the bear goes on a rampage and removes enough elves, it doesn't matter if his players are better if I've got 11 to his 7 or something like that.
I think it still matters, because the Wood Elves are still better.
This is true, but I mean, when you're 4 players up, you can do a lot of things.
Yeah, that's very true. I just have to go with Duberman in this one.
Yep. I'm going with the Wood Elves on that as well. But I will hope for BS. So we've got the Hellspawn Violators versus the Firstborn of Arda. That is the Chaos Dwarves versus the High Elves. So Chaos Dwarves, I think, are favored on paper. What do you think?
I think they're slow. I actually want to say Valk in this matchup. Agility 4 is going to do Agility 4 things, especially the Movement 8 catchers. Mm-hmm. I love those pieces.
Yep.
You have a 2+ catch, and just in case you roll a 1, you get a reroll. Give me that all day, every day. So.
Well, we do have the one thing that I see. The Bull Centaurs are pseudo Movement 9, so they're actually faster on. Theoretically, maybe with those two players, not the rest of the team, but with those two players, they can run down an elf if they need to. I would really have to see both of these players play. I know Valk's a great coach. I don't know if I've seen too much from RK. So yeah, if RK is a great coach, it could be tough. So we'll have to see how that one plays out.
I just don't know about the 5 Chorf start.
5 Chorf start, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of, but we'll see if he can make it work for him.
Yeah.
Last, we have the Weekend Times crew versus the Women of War. So that is our Amazons versus our Orcs. What do you think about that?
So Moxie said in chat, let me pull it up real quick. Balls to the wall. Who needs a reroll when you roll POWs? You're going to have to roll a fuck ton of POWs this game.
Yep. And that game's in 2 hours or so.
Yeah. It's the first game of Season 6. It's going to kick off.
Very nice. That's at the same time that I'm playing... I think that's the same time I'm playing Striker in the AP Memorial.
Yeah, which, by the way, I played at AP Memorial. I beat Scambammer. Yep. I saw the results of that. I did not get to see the match, but I'm sure it was a good one. It was really boring. It was me stand firming a lot with my blodge pieces.
Oh, that's no fun. All right.
It was funny for me. I felt bad for Yup.
What's your picks on the Orc versus Amazon team?
Orcs versus Amazon. I'm gonna have to go Amazon.
Yep, I think Amazons have it on paper, so I agree with you on that. The dodge is super annoying, and the blodge is even more annoying than that.
Yeah. What Moxie has to do is just pray that his blitzers can get POWs early and often, and don't necessarily go after his own blitzers that are already blodged. Just go after his linemen and such.
Yep.
So that way you have a little bit more chances of success.
Absolutely. So I am now moving into the Capone division to cover these teams. So first up, we've got the Scourge of Saltspire, which is our Season 5 champion. Took me down in the finals.
4.
Huh?
And Season 4.
And Season 4. Back to back, yes, yep. I did not make it to the finals last season, I don't believe. I think it was Golgothan versus S. Hunter last season.
It was indeed.
Yep. So we have the Scourge of Saltspire. I'm very familiar with this team. Obsir the Lethal, Clawpalmer, super annoying. The Grab
lives
Guard
up to his
guy.
name.
Huh?
Obscure the Lethal lives up to his name.
Yep, absolutely. Both of these storm vermin named the Lethal, and both of them are extremely lethal. One's agi busted, the other's movement busted. They don't seem to mind at all. We have a horrendous set of gutters here. 2 of them niggled, and or actually no, this one's not niggled. This one's strength busted. A niggle and a strength bust.
Plus strength. I love the plus strength plus piece.
Yep, can't let it go because it's agi 5 leap tackle wrestle. Like, this is still too cool of a piece to let go.
You can make arguments to let it go.
Yeah, it's a little bit bloaty, but I mean that's a really good gutter. Agi 5 gutter with leap is still just a monster of a piece.
Yeah. it's tough to say whether you should let it go or not, just because it is such a good piece otherwise.
You pick up Dauntless or Horns on it next and call it a day.
In 80 SPP next.
Yeah, only 80 SPP. It's only a minute. Yeah. Also has the Sure Hands, Big Hand, 2 heads. Basically, this gutter says, I'm going to go wherever I want. I'm going to pick up the ball wherever I want, and I don't care what you have to say about it.
Amazing ball carrier.
I have put this into positions where I have the ball in 4 tackle zones or something like that, and this guy just strolls in and picks it up and leaves, and that is really annoying.
3+3+2+ gone.
Yeah, 3+2+2+ gone. What? Why? That's not fair. So, yeah, this team is awesome. It does exactly what Skaven want to do. Golgothan has a unique style of playing Skaven, which he does not engage you at all defensively until you are basically on the line, and then he goes balls to the wall on you. It's an interesting style that I haven't really seen any other Skaven coach replicate, but it works for him. He makes it work very, very well.
Yeah, a couple of shout-outs to Golgothan that we've already done. Like I said, back-to-back champ. He's in Rel Division 1 with Skaven, and somehow he has 13 players on the Skaven team.
Yep.
He knows how to preserve players. I think that's mostly due to there being a strong agility meta years past. So
that definitely helps. I've seen this team much more beat up than it is now.
Yeah.
Second up, we have some scrub named TheTrueBlu playing Experiments Gone Wrong.
I heard he sucks.
Well, this team is definitely terrible. I don't know why anyone would ever play it. We have 3 rerolls. We've got a Nurgle team here at 1770 team value. Somehow built up to 1770, never playing a real season. That's pretty impressive.
No, it's played 1 real season, my first real season.
Oh, did
I won against... Yeah, I won against AP and the AI that season.
Okay.
That's it.
I didn't think this had actually seen the season of play. So
no, it did, and I had a ton of Rotter deaths that season.
Oh, no fun. So we've got a guard beast. We've got a strength up Nurgle warrior who is an aspiring block beast of Nurgle.
Yep.
We've got another Nurgle warrior with block. We've got 2 rookie Nurgle warriors. One of them with 2 SPP, so on his way there. So that we've had this discussion before, but you've got underdeveloped Nurgle warriors and overdeveloped Pestigors because you've got all your skills on the Pestigors.
Yeah, they wouldn't be so underdeveloped Nurgle warriors if you didn't move bust one of them in the last round drop-in.
You got to do what you got to do. That was a Nurgle versus Nurgle matchup.
Yeah.
So we have a Mighty Blow tackle Pestigor. We have a Strength 4 Mighty Blow Pestigor. That's my favorite piece.
Yeah. It's going to be getting Jugs and Frenzy.
Yep.
It's going to be going surfing. I love it.
That's awesome. We also have the bravest toaster in Traro, who is a Mighty Blow Claw piling on before block Pestigor. That is the... Oh,
and I'm also going to get Tackle before block.
Tackle before block because only POWs matter.
Exactly.
And then we have the block Sure Hands, the ball carrier Pestigor. Everything here's good. You've got a armor busted dirty player, but you don't fire armor busts on Rotters because Rotters die whenever they get cast anyway, so why worry about it? He's still doing his job with a dirty player there.
Yeah, and you didn't see this, but I just barely bought a 13th player.
Yep.
With my cash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do see it. Okay, cool.
Yep, he's on there. So you've got...
Yeah, so...
Go ahead.
I can protect my dirty player a little bit more.
Yep, absolutely.
That'll be fun. I can stomp on things.
Only field him when you need him, and when you need him, step on things.
Exactly.
Next up, we've got 1390 Ender Shadow Striker OD's Lizards, who I have seen the template for their future build, and I just can't support that at all. But
their future build, I think it's going to be so great until I kill all the Saurus. So
Well,
have fun with it until now. Until then.
so we've got a pretty much a straightforward Saurus team here. We've got guard stand firm on a Crocs. We've got block mighty blow, block tackle block, and undeveloped on the other two. I do love the naming scheme. If you've never read the Ender series, you should definitely go read the Ender series. It's a great sci-fi series. Movie was not as good as the books by any stretch. Yeah, but the only thing that is a little just we need more development on the Saurus and no doubles on the Skinks. Like the Fly Molo, sorry, you're on your way to getting fired, bud. Like one more level, you're out. It's debatable if you just go ahead and fire him now because you want some doubles on your Skinks. Non-double Skinks are terrible. I know. I've played with them for far too long.
I think you kind of keep him until you get some other development on your Skinks.
You can. I've just started firing them once they get to that point. Like, maybe you keep it around depending on what your game is, but if the diving tackle isn't looking to be super useful in that game, diving tackle without block is not the greatest. And I just want to be scoring touchdowns and getting MVPs on pieces that I want development on, and these you don't want development on anymore because they just don't have a lot of potential.
Well, that one you don't want development.
Yeah, that
on
one.
Anymore.
These can be okay. Like this one, Dink is on. You have one more touchdown, buddy, and after that touchdown, you better roll something good, or else you're in the same spot. But,
yeah, that makes sense, and that's probably why Goofy decided to roll 2 agility for your team before they got retired.
Yep. And that team may come back at some point. The team is still in great shape. Goofy's in great shape, but none of my other Skinks ever decided to roll any good levels. And Goofy, bless him, but he took all the SPP away from the other Skinks.
What are you saying? Agility 5 hoards SPP?
Yes.
Say it ain't so.
Absolutely, it does. Oh, I tried so hard to score touchdowns on other Skinks, and invariably something would happen. The ball ends up on the ground, and it's like, well, Agi 5's going to go do a thing. Next up, Boba's Bounty Hunters. Boba Phobic playing Chaos.
Yes.
And this is, let's see, Chaos Warriors all have block and a couple of Mighty Blow. Mighty Blow spam Chaos Warriors, no guard. I like to have some guard mixed in on my Chaos Warriors, but this is a very aggressive setup. Agi
he
4
is going.
Go ahead.
I know Boba. He made this team after we made Knuckles' hit list.
Mm-hmm. This is the hit team?
This is the hit team. This is the team that is appropriately named Boba's Bounty Hunters. And he's going for death and destruction with this team. Okay,
so we're going to see block, Mighty Blow, Claw piling on down the roster, is what I'm hearing here.
I don't know if he's going to go piling on, but I could see block, Mighty Blow, Claw, guard. That might be the way that he develops his warriors.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Minotaur, it's okay. It's not the worst. It's not the best.
Yeah, I think he bought it and immediately wanted to fire it, so if that says anything.
Yep, I can see that. That thing will... you want to blitz with your Minotaur, but then again, you don't want to blitz with your Minotaur, especially when you've got, like, Mighty Blow Chaos Warriors to blitz with.
Yep.
So, good-looking team. I love the Agi 4 Beastman. I hope he gets very long legs and leap. That would be the best.
Are you also going to say pass block? Because if so, I just want to kick you out of your own channel.
Absolutely no pass block. Very long leap, very long legs, leap, and then it's too bad that he has block because I would just make a sacker out of him and go wrestle strip ball.
I think he's going to use him as a ball carrier.
Oh, okay. So then it's going more like Sure Hands Fend?
It's probably going to get Sure Hands next.
Yep, Sure Hands, Fend, dodge on doubles if it gets doubles.
Yeah. If you also happen to get a strength up, a movement up, you're going to take it because who wants to deal with a agility 4, strength 4 ball carrier?
Right. Yeah, Chaos is a team I think that can. I think a great ball carrier. That's not a bad call at all. That's a very sound decision. I think Chaos can do with a really good sacker because they're not actually that slow of a team. 5 and 6 movement they can sometimes capitalize on a good sacking play. And these Beastmen are just the players to do it. But
I do think that he does need to get a sacker with one of his Beastmen that aren't quite leveled yet.
Yep. Next up, we've got another Nurgle team. Man, did it get killy up in this division. I decided to retire my team at the right time. Mateo with the Bulbonic Blighthawks, another Nurgle team, 1280. And
there's another Strength 5 Nurgle warrior, guys. We're just going to have 4 Beasts of Nurgle in this division, only 2 Nurgle teams.
That's a thing. I like the build out of this team. It is very minimalistic. He only has 1 Pestigore. I think if this were my team, I would be looking to hire. Yeah, I would be looking to hire my second one right now. This is how I build my Nurgle teams. I hire 1 Pestigore, get it to level 3, hire my second Pestigore, get it to level 3, hire my third Pestigore, etc., etc. Just trying to delay the bloat as long as possible and get as much development as I can on my warriors and the 1 Pestigore that I'm working on leveling. So I like the strategy. I like where this team's at right now. Needs a lot more development on these warriors. Claw first is a bold choice, but that may actually work out in this division with the other Chaos and Nurgle that we're seeing. Chaos, Nurgle, and Lizards. There's a lot of Armor 9 that this Claw will do work against.
Yeah, that is definitely the piece that when I play Matt, I want to target that thing. I want to get it off the field. Because if I can get rid of that, I don't fear for my team's life anywhere else.
Yep. So I like where that team's at. I'll be excited to see how that matches up. And then we have an Orc team, more Armor 9. Skaven, the only non-Armor 9 team in this division we've seen so far. So we have a poor movement busted Black Orc. I don't know I guess he's not fired yet, but as soon as you get up to 100 or to 80k, he's fired.
Yeah, I think he's only not fired just because he only had 40k.
Yep. So, and he's missed next game, so he probably will not play another game. He'll play his game, probably get another 40k, and bye-bye, Mr. Breakarm.
Yeah, well, you hope that you get another 40k in that game.
Hopefully so. Worst, I mean...
I wonder what his schedule's looking like.
We'll have to take a look
at it real quick. He's playing Underworld against week 2, so he might want to have it just for that game because I know the Underworld team is nasty.
Right. So, but that said, pretty standard looking Orc team. It's got good development on the Blitzer so far. We have a double, so we've got a Blodge Blitzer. We also got a double on the thrower, so we've got a dodge thrower. We're going to have a couple of blodge pieces. This team just needs more development, which, I mean, it's a 1250 team, so that's kind of what you expect. They're going to see some good inducements going in. So, not in a bad place.
Not at all.
I'll be excited.
He made the playoffs as a TV 1000 team last season.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even call out the name of the team. That was Team Happy Orcs with Lawcrest. He did amazing with this team. So I'll be excited to see what he's able to do once this team hits its stride with some more skills and some more development.
Yeah,
I actually think I may have move busted that player. I think I was the last game he played, so I did. Sorry.
No, I think that was actually Golathon because you completely annihilated my team.
I eliminated Lawcrest from the playoffs.
No, you didn't. You eliminated me. Golathon eliminated Lawcrest.
Did he? Oh, yeah. Everything switched around because I played him last game of the season, and then thought I was scheduled to play him first game of the playoffs, but then it got switched around and I played you. Yeah, that's right. Never mind. Yeah.
You annihilated me.
Well, lizards do what lizards do. So we have, if I can remember how to see the other teams, we go to Invited. Our other teams, we have Maritime Marinated Meat, the Underworld from Goblin Marine. This is a spooky looking team with this guy, Snillich, which if he is not on our hit list, he deserves to be, right?
I believe he already is, but we need to double check.
Yeah, need to make sure that this guy is on the list to get popped because that is a claw palm tackle horns blitzer. Like that guy needs to get killed.
Yeah, it is an amazing blitzer. And then I'm looking at that thrower, which is really just a running piece.
Mm-hmm.
Sure hands, pass,
extra
block,
arms.
Extra arms, dodge, moving up. That is a nasty ball carrier.
Yep.
You just give him 10 next, and you're happy.
Yep, absolutely. So this
maybe you give him 2 heads to get that 2+ dodge.
Do you go 2 heads or fins first? Because I would almost be tempted to just go fins first.
I might go 2 heads just to make it a dodge on a 2+.
Yep.
It's too good.
Yep. Doubles, I think you take sidestep.
Yep.
Yep. Anyways, theory crafting aside, this is a sweet team. We've got the tentacly warpstone troll. We've got the murder piece here. We've got a bunch of 2 heads goblins, one with wrestle, one with block, one with guard. So this team is nasty. The last season that he played it, which was not season 5, it was season 4, made playoffs, I believe, with this team.
He did make playoffs, and then he kind of got beat down in playoffs.
Yeah, I believe that he had 2 great blitzers and left playoffs with 1 great blitzer.
Yep.
And then our other team is, I believe this is a season 2 or season 4? No, not season 4. Season 2 champion?
Season 2 champion.
Aerial Assault WCW. S Hunters elf team here. This is Pro Elves, right? Or
this is Pro Elves.
Yeah, Pro Elves.
Elven Union is Pro Elves.
Yeah, Pro Elves. So we've got a bunch of level ups to process on this team, a bunch of extra money to spend, and a pretty beat up team here. We've got a AV bus that went down on this lineman, this Agi 5 Leap Wrestle lineman. But we've got lots of level ups to process, so I don't know what all those level ups are. I want to see what those are.
I will tell you firsthand when I play S Hunter this weekend.
All right. I know S Hunter is a very good coach. Like we say, this team itself has won the WCW before, so this is a great team, great coach. He knows how to elf, and it shows. I would love to see what these level ups are. Probably looking at least a couple of dodge on these linemen, maybe a kick. The catcher, if it's nothing special, it's probably sidestep. I'm just guessing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players next game, so he is going to have 3 loners. But and missing his Agi up piece. But still, this is a sweet team.
It's a sweet team, and I'm going to be giving up a wizard to it, and I am not excited about that.
Well, good luck with that one. So let's look at the Capone matchups. We've got experiments gone wrong. This is you, correct? So I think we've kind of talked about that a little bit. You versus S Hunter is what this will be. You're giving up a wizard to Pro Elves. I'm not sure who to give that one to. I'm tempted to give it to Pro Elves because elf bullshit's elf bullshit, and I've seen him do it many, many times. Do you have tackle on the team yet? I do have some
disturbing presence. I do have tackle. I have 1 tackle.
So, I'm not sure. We'll have to see how that plays out. If you're able to apply good positioning with the disturbing presence and keep that on point, that can frustrate that passing game. If he's able to just do elfy stuff and run around you, that can be tough because he does outpace you by a bit there. So I'll tell you, he'll be looking to do handoffs where he can, looking for opportunities to push the stink off of his elves to make a handoff. So I would be wary about getting them just in the stink. You want to get them kind of 2 squares in so that a push isn't good enough.
Yeah.
But that'll be an interesting game. I think I tend to lean toward giving it to the elves just because elves do elfy stuff. But I don't know. Could go either way.
I don't think I have beaten S Hunter once, and that's because I pitch cleared him with my Necro before they got retired.
Yep, I kind of think that's the case. Either it's going to be a pitch clear, or the elves are going to do elf things.
Yeah. I'm hoping for a pitch clear. I think I have the team that could be successful.
You do?
If I think I could beat him. It's just going to be a difficult game.
Yep, for
100%.
sure. Anytime you're playing a championship team, it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
And speaking of, Ender Shadow has Scourge of Saltspire, Game 1. What are your thoughts on that one?
I think it is going to be a Scourge of Saltspire win, and I hope that some things die.
What does Stryker, and you may know him a little bit better than I do in this way, what will Stryker do with all his inducement money? Because he's picking up some cash here, right?
How much cash does he
Let's
really have?
take a look.
1390. So that's 400, 450.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Morgan Thorg, but honestly, I'm expecting Slibley. I'm expecting a Wizard, maybe a Bribe. So Slibley, Wizard, that would be about 400. If he's willing to invest about 50k cash, he can also get a Bribe.
I will tell you, if I were the Lizard coach in this matchup, I would not value Slibley very highly.
I think it's just one extra piece that he can target with his Claw Mighty Blow piece.
It is, but my thought process is just knowing Golgothan's game, you're going to struggle to get max value out of Slibley, other than just having another block piece on the field, which isn't a bad thing. But I think I would actually be looking at taking bribes more. I would look at there's a Stab Skink that I might be in the market for.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah, I think bribes and a Stab Skink, if you can afford that. I'm not sure what the price is on those things, because Stab is going to be great against these gutter runners, and I think we even have an Armor 6 piece somewhere. No, we don't. I think there used to be an Armor 6 piece somewhere. But still, stabbing gutter runners is not a bad place to be. And fouling is a great place to be against this team, especially with the piling on. It's a very tricky game versus Golgothan. I don't know if Stryker's had a chance to play against Golgothan in the past.
I favor Golgothan 100%.
Yeah. Golgothan's is just a fantastic rat coach, and I think you have to learn to play against him. I will say this, and it's bared out in the results. The first time that me and Golgothan ever played, Golgothan beat me handily. The second time we played, it was a tie game. And then I had a solid record of beating him like 4 times in a row until the finals of this season, where he finally beat me. So I think I figured him out for a little bit, and then I think he figured me out. So interesting stuff. I'm interested to see how their first meeting goes. But I would have to give it to Golgothan as well.
Yeah. And then
Boba's Bounty Hunters versus a placeholder team, which I believe is the Maritime meet.
Underworld.
Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, we've got Chaos versus Underworld in a battle of the mighty blows. I'm giving it to Underworld in this one. What do you think?
I have to give it to Underworld. There's just one good killer, and then the rest of them positioned well. It could go sideways for Boba real quick.
Yep, that killer does not care about his AV9 at all. It depends on how the dice fire. If dice go poorly for the Underworld and Boba's able to get an upper hand, then he's going to trounce that game. But if we see a couple of key early removals from the Underworld, which Goblin Miranda showed he's capable of pulling those things out, it could go sideways real quick for the Chaos team.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I'm going to go Underworld.
All right. Underworld takes the sweep on that one. We'll see how that plays out. And then finally we have the Bubonic Blackhawks versus the Team Happy Orcs. This is Mateo's Nurgle versus Lockrest's Orcs. So
this is a matchup where Lockrest is not used to it, where his team actually matches up well with his opponent in Windy City Warmonger.
Yep.
And even though he's less TV, I think he's the upper hand because Nurgle are just so damn bloaty. This is going to be a Nurgle win.
Yeah,
not Nurgle. Orc win.
Orc
win.
Yep, I think I agree with that. I think Clawcrest has showed he knows how to play a very good positional game. He's on even footing for a change. Last season he played the entire season uphill and managed to hang in there and win a ton of games. So all the props in the world to him. I think given him an even matchup, he's shown himself to be a great coach, and these teams couldn't be more evenly matched, right? Like you've got both of them are sporting 4 strength 4 pieces. I guess there's a slight strength advantage on the attack with the Beastmen having. We do have a strength 5 Beastman, so there is a slight strength advantage to the Nurgle side, but the Nurgle have 1 block piece.
Yeah, the skill advantage
and it's
on
a Pestigore,
the Orc side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The claw piece is something that he has in his favor, so
if that fires and it fires well, it could win the game, but I just don't see it doing that.
Yeah. There's no Mighty Blow paired with it. There's no piling on paired with it. So, I mean, a little bit of fortunate dice could, if he gets the kickoff and punches a Black Orc and removes it first turn of the game, you could easily see a snowball from there. But assuming that that's not the case, all things equal, the Orcs have more block. The Orcs have shown themselves just to be a very solid team. So I think I tend to give it to the Orcs.
Yeah. And it looks like Clawcrest is trying to schedule the game up as we speak.
Awesome. Well, I think we've covered all the teams. We've covered all the divisions. All the upcoming games. Any closing thoughts or parting thoughts about the season?
I just want to see it be a good season, have fun. Playoffs. I posted this and stickied it in season 6 for all the season 6 needs. I said that the Capone division will get 3 tickets. The Dillinger division will get 2. The Nelson division will get 2. There's going to be 1 wild card ticket, and it will go to the team with the highest point total. Okay. And if there's a tie between Capone and whatever other division, Capone will get it because that is the harder division to get it in. But other than that, it's the better defense wins the tiebreaker.
Right. It's going to be hard for the... I don't know what the math is exactly, but it's going to be hard for the 4th place team in Capone to beat out the 3rd place team of either of the other divisions, I think. But it could happen.
Yeah, it could happen, and if it does, well... I just wanted to have a wild card ticket because I didn't think it'd be right to give Capone 4, and then didn't think it'd be right to have Dillinger and Nelson get a 3rd while the other one didn't. So
right, makes sense. Sounds good. All right, well, thanks everyone for joining. I'll have this up on YouTube shortly, and have a great season, everyone.